they talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle.
It's the one and only queen of receipts, the dropping gems in these YouTube streets. The lawyer Royce, nowhere to go. Tune in for the infamous morning show, giving the news that you need to know. So don't you dare miss a wake-up call. Then in the evening, I got all for y'all. Get your dose of daily vitamins. You know the queen makes it make sense. So true.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamin. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so I had to add a little bit of an extended intro because I was looking for something. Okay, I was trying to find that speech that y'all's president just gave so y'all can listen to it. Okay, so y'all can listen to the lies and the BS. Now, with that all being said, let's see who is in here. Hey, Perplex, Byron's in the house, Laverne, Pearly, Vince I am from the UK with his nefarious self. Okay, J1 is here. All right, let's get into it, Queen Huey. Mr. Fats, Aaron Fats is here. Dervis, okay, G from the land, Brown John, Laverne. Shout out to all of my loyal Roys and everyone tuned into the Queen, and a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. Okay, so we're about to get into it. We have a lot of things to cover. You know, Trump wanted us to crash out about the snap, but it looks like he's the one crashing out. Okay, it looks like his little plan backfired on him because he's clearly the one that's crashing out. And we're about to get into it because now we have MAGA Mike out here lying because he just loves to lie, especially for Trump. He's out here just pushing false narratives. Okay, that's the next thing on their agenda. So let's get into it. Give me just a second. I'm pulling up my chat on my cell phone. All right, make sure this volume is turned off. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Everybody hit that like button. Also, please double check and make sure you're still subscribed if you have not been receiving the notifications. Okay, so now let's go to Trump's speech. Hold on, I have a question. Now, I'm sorry, did I play my sponsors ad? Did I already do the ad or did I forget? The grocery stores are empty in my area. I caught a live finally. Forever favorite. Let me tell you something, beloved. Listen, if you don't get notifications, you can always check my community tab or you can check my Twitter because I always post the links to the lives on there and I go live every day, okay, including the weekends. Okay, so you all are saying no thank you because I forgot just that quick. Okay, so let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes before we get the party started.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing. And you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right. So with that all been said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And also she sells beard oil. Okay, so let's get into it. I want to go first to this speech that Trump gave, acknowledging his extreme loss. Okay, I know his heart was clearly broken. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Here we go. We're just going to listen to a few minutes of this because it's like 20 minutes long. And I don't want to hear the whole thing. I just want you all to hear some of the key points that he made.
I thought we were just going to sit down and talk a little bit. We talked about exactly 1 year ago we had that big, beautiful victory. Exactly. Last night it was, not expected to be a victory. I don't think it was good for Republicans. I don't think it was good. I'm not sure it was good for anybody. But we had an interesting evening and we learned a lot. And we're going to talk about that, and I'll say a few remarks, and then after that I'll ask the press to leave. The press has been very, very nice to us the last couple of months. They were great to us in terms of the foreign visits with China, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, and they were actually terrific. So I want to thank you for that. I'm sure you'll get back to your normal ways soon. But we did a great job over in China. And we've done a great job in turning off wars. We stopped 8 wars. And we have 1 to go, as you probably know, and that'll get stopped also. But we've done a great job, so it's really been an honor to do it, and I did it with many of the people in this room. Every one of you I know, and every one of you I like our leaders, I like everybody. But I thought we'd have a discussion after the press leaves about what last night represented, and what we should do about it, and also about the shutdown, how that relates to last night. I think if you read the pollsters, the shutdown was a big factor, negative for the Republicans. That was a big factor, and they say that I wasn't on the ballot was the biggest factor. But I don't know about that, but I was honored that they said that. And I just want to thank everybody for being here, and a very special thanks to Vice President J.D. Vance, who's doing a terrific job. As well as the Senate leadership team that has been working very hard, working really, I will tell you, nobody's working any harder representing the American people, including Senator John Thune. John, thank you. Thank you. So Senator Shelley Moore Capito, who
Listen, family, I want you all to pay attention to this ugly ass suit and tie that your president is wearing. Now, normally I wouldn't even bother to mention it, but I find it interesting because do you all remember the time that they were talking trash about Barack Obama when he wore that tan suit that looked quite nice on him, in my opinion, but they were talking about that was so unpresidential and the suit was so ugly? Do y'all see what this man is wearing? Y'all see this ugly suit and this tie? Okay, but they're not saying anything about that, but let's continue. I just thought I'd bring that up, point it out.
Senator James Langford from one of my favorite states, 77 out of 77. 77 out of 77. Reagan was 56. That was the record. We got every one of them. Thank you, Jim. And a fantastic friend of mine and an incredible advocate during the election a year ago, Tim Scott. Thank you, Tim. So as you know, we are in the midst of a disastrous Democrat-created government shutdown, and it is Democrat-created, but I don't think they're getting really the blame that they should. That's now officially the longest shutdown in American history. The Democrat radicals in the Senate have shown zero interest in reopening the government, and I don't think they'll access it. A lot of people disagree. I've been saying for the last 30 days, we've had 4 or 5 different points. Yes, sir, they're going to get it right now. We should have it done in a day. I've heard that about 4 times. I heard it after Kings. You know, they said I was a king. And I heard it after Kings. I heard it after a couple of other moments in time. And I said, no, I don't believe so. And now I heard it's after the election. I don't believe so. I think they will. I think they're kamikaze pilots. I just got back from Japan. I talked about the kamikaze pilots. I think these guys are kamikaze. They'll take down the country if they have to. So I don't think so. Millions of Americans are going to be without SNAP benefits. And I will say about SNAP benefits, so when I was president, we had $7 billion worth, and now they have many times that, because these benefits were given to anybody that asked, and they're up to, I hear, just many times, $47 billion. So it wasn't the purpose of SNAP. It was for people that really had problems, down and out, people that really had problems. But during Biden, they gave it to anybody that wanted it. I think it's something you have to talk about because the numbers are incredible. But countless public servants are now not being paid, and the air traffic control system is under increasing strain. We must get the government back open soon, and really immediately. We have to get it open. We have the hottest economy we've ever had, and it's affecting the stock market now a little bit. But the stock market, as of Friday, has hit many record highs during the last 9 months, many. And it will again. This is just.
Now, do y'all hear him sitting up here lying, talking about the stock market has hit record highs and this, that, and third? I thought the stock market crashed just a couple of weeks or so ago. I thought it crashed, Trump. Okay, I want you all to pay attention because how he's sitting here still trying to blame the Democrats, still calling them radicals, still talking about what they've done and why the government is shut down. Here's the thing. Okay, first of all, the MAGA Republicans don't give a darn about the American citizens. We know that. They don't care about any of this stuff that's going on with us. They're sitting here looting the government. Okay, that's what they're doing, in my opinion, looting the government, snatching up whatever money they can. Okay, Trump knows that he spent that money. Where'd you send it to, Trump? Argentina? What did you do with it? Did you use it to pay the $50,000 bonuses that ICE was given? Is that where the money went to? And then he's sitting here talking trash about the Democrats, but the thing of it is, he's trying to put the Democrats in a catch-22. Okay, he wants them to sign and allow them to take away health care from millions of people in this country. And since they won't do it, since they refuse, they won't be compliant or complicit, now he wants to basically starve millions of the people instead. Oh, so you won't let us snatch up their health care? Guess what? We'll starve them until you comply. That's what he's doing. But he wants to sit here and spread these false narratives, him and MAGA Mike. Okay, they haven't introduced any sort of plan to replace the Affordable Care Act. So do they really want Americans to have health care? No, they don't. They don't want Americans to have health care, but you all should already know this and should already know about this food problem that's coming up. I mean, that they're having right here. You know, this is the month of November. Thanksgiving's coming, Christmas is coming. What do they think people are going to be doing for the holidays? Trump wants people to crash out so they can act a damn fool and he can implement martial law. That's what he wants. He knows exactly what he's doing. Because of all times to do this and pull this little stunt in the month of November, right before the holidays, yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing. Okay? He wanted everybody else to crash out, but it looks like they're the ones crashing out. So please pay attention. And then they don't even care if people have to stand in bread lines for hours. They don't care about people having to go to food pantries or any of those things. And then these food pantries are struggling. Okay, some of them don't even have adequate supplies to pass out to people. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. And the thing of it is here's the thing. They've already pretty much gotten what they want. Okay, the GOP, they've pretty much already gotten what they want. What was that? Power. That's what they wanted. Unchecked power. That's what they wanted, and that's what they got. Because Trump's just doing whatever. He's not listening to judges, federal judges, be damned. He's not listening to them. He's doing whatever he wants, and nobody's going to stop him. I want you all to pay attention. Nobody is trying to stop him, okay? DJ Big Six said it's the Democrats. But let's let him continue because he thinks he's cooking.
The beginning, because with these plants that are being built right now start opening up, we've never had anything like this as a boom. There's a construction boom right now, but that's going to be bigger than that. That's going to be an economic boom as soon as they open up, and it's going to be something special. We have car companies coming in. When I was in Japan, Toyota, Mr. Toyota, I said, "What's your name?" "Toyota." I said, "Oh, you're rich." I said, "How much of the company do you own?" 92.1%. I said, "I'm glad you said the one who wants to be." I said, "You're a rich guy." And he said, "I'm investing $10 billion in the U.S. And you know who I'm talking about, right? You introduced me, Mr. Senator. You introduced me originally when you were the ambassador to Japan. He's still good. He's still strong. But he had no interest in investing in this country. Now he's investing $10 billion as of 1 week ago in building new plants. We have auto plants coming in incredibly, but we have AI and all of them. And we can't be extorted to give $1.5 trillion to people that came into the country illegally, many from prisons, many drug dealers. A lot of people came in from mental institutions. They want to give a lot of money to the people that came in illegally. We have to get them out. We can't, no country can sustain that. That's not like an...
This idiots. Okay, do you all hear this man? He said we have all these people coming in from prisons and then some coming in from mental institutions. You all do know, because I've told you all this before. Lillian X said, "What's funny?" Hold on, I'm about to tell you. I've told you all before how Trump is so obtuse. He doesn't realize that when people are coming here for political asylum, that these people are not mental patients. When they say political asylum, he thinks they're talking about mental asylums with mentally ill people. That's why he keeps talking about this, saying that people are coming here from mental institutions. This man is so obtuse, it is ridiculous. Okay? This is what he's talking about. People coming here from mental asylums. He doesn't realize, sir, they're coming here seeking asylum. That's not the same. I told you all that a myriad of times, but let him cook. I'm going to listen to about another minute and a half of this crap.
In our country, in no country, these are not going to be productive people. These are going to be anti-productive people. And we can be all have big hearts. I have a bigger heart than anybody, but we can't let that happen. It's time for Republicans to do what they have to do, and that's terminate the filibuster. It's the only way you can do it. And if you don't terminate the filibuster, you'll be in bad shape. We won't pass any legislation. There'll be no legislation passed for 3.25. We have 3.25 years, so that's a long time. But when they can't do an extension, and John, I think they've done an extension every single time they've ever been asked forever. This is the first time they haven't done an extension. Extensions are supposed to be easy, but if they won't do an extension, they won't do any bill, even a simple bill. And we should do our own bills. We should get out. We should do our own bills. We should open up. We should start tonight with the country's open. Congratulations. Then we should pass voter ID. We should pass no mail-in voting. We should pass all the things that we want to pass, make our elections secure and safe, because
he said because California is a disaster and many of the states are disasters. Trump, don't sit here and try to act like there's some sort of fraud going on because y'all lost bad. Okay? Don't sit up here and act like that's the reason. I want y'all to pay attention because, first of all, the Democrats converted enough seats to take away the supermajority in Mississippi. So that means that the Republicans are going to actually have to do their darn jobs. Okay, they're going to have to work hand in hand in unison in concert with the Democrats. Okay, because that's all gone. It's a wash. All right, it's a wash. And this is why Trump and his minions, his cronies, okay, this is why they're crashing out. Please pay attention. Mississippi Democrats appear to break the Republican supermajority in state Senate. Let's talk about it. So the Mississippi Democrats have broken a Republican supermajority in the state, claiming victories in 2 Republican-held districts that were redrawn after a court ruled that they should have greater representation for Black voters. Now, unofficial county election results show Democrats leading, but vote totals may change as absentee ballots can still be received up to 5 days after the election. Local election officials have until November the 14th to verify the county results and pass their totals on to the Mississippi Secretary of State for certification. The Democratic gains in Mississippi were part of a strong performance Tuesday in state house elections, as Democrats also expanded their majorities in both the New Jersey Assembly and Virginia House. Now, the victories would mean Republicans no longer have a 2/3 majority in the Mississippi Senate when the new lawmakers take office. They say Mississippi voters reminded us that change is possible when we show up together. Mississippi Democratic Party Vice Chair Jody Brown wrote in a statement saying breaking the supermajority means restoring checks and balances and ensuring that every Mississippian's voice counts in their state government. Now, Republicans had held a 2/3 majority in the Senate since the 2019 elections, and they will still have at least a 3/5 majority in the chamber. In Mississippi, a 3/5 majority of the House and Senate is needed to pass tax bills or issue bonds to borrow money. Now, a 2/3 majority in both chambers is needed to approve proposed amendments to the state constitution and override a veto from the governor. The Democrats' gains come after a panel of 3 judges, federal judges, ordered the state to redraw some of its legislative districts, saying the state's 2022 legislative map diluted the power of Black voters. The judges ordered legislators to draw majority Black Senate districts around DeSoto County in the northwestern corner of the state, and around Hattiesburg in the south, and a new majority Black House district in Chickasaw and Monroe counties in the northeastern part of the state. Now, the court ordered reshaping of voting districts played a significant role in Democrats' victories. Okay, this is what Heather Williams, president of the National Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee, had to say. Saying when there are representative maps and there is a process that actually gives voters a choice of who their elected officials are, we can connect with voters and win. Okay, Mississippi was a prime example of that. Trump, this is why you're mad. This is why he's crashing out. The Mississippi Republican Party chairman, Mike Hurst, called the results disappointing. So sad. Okay, Republicans were the underdogs in these gerrymandered districts drawn by an unelected court. That's what he said in a statement. Democrats' wins yesterday were the equivalent of scoring points in the fourth quarter while losing the game in a blowout. I love it. Although breaking a 2/3 supermajority will not give Democrats controlling power in the Senate, it marks a shift from for the deep red state where national Democrats have invested in local elections. The path to power in states is not ever done in one election. It takes time to build, Williams says. It starts by breaking Republican supermajorities. Okay? Absolutely. So this is why Trump and his people are very concerned. And they say the Democrats are thinking now about should they go ahead and comply so they can end the government shutdown. But I say to them, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, I don't think they should. Because even if they sign the CR, I don't think things is going to get any better. Okay, I don't think things are going to get any better. And here's the thing. let's talk about JD Vance, because JD Vance, I know he's butthurt, bit out of shape. Okay, clearly because his half brother, okay, actually lost to the Democratic candidate in Cincinnati. Okay, even though JD Vance endorsed him, but here's the thing: as soon as he endorsed his half brother, Corey Bowman is his name. Well, as soon as he endorsed him, he started to go down in the polls. He started going down in the polls. His ratings started to drop. And so that should tell us pretty much how the people feel about JD Vance. Okay. And then, like I said, MAGA Mike and the rest of Trump's minions, some people call them goons. I call them minions. At the end of the day, they're just really trying to push these false narratives, saying, oh, it was the Democratic, it was the blue states and this and that. Well, Virginia was not a blue state. Okay. Virginia got flipped. Okay. So, anyway, with that all being said, now let's go to, hold on. Okay, yeah, now here's why Trump is so upset. Because the Democrats did take major gains in Virginia in last night's election. Okay, Abigail Spanberger won the governor's race, defeating the Republican candidate Winsome Sears. As we know, the Democratic Party swept the statewide offices, including Lieutenant Governor and Attorney General, flipping those from Republicans. Okay, and that cost them significantly. They're really upset about it. Now, in the lower chamber, the Virginia House of Delegates, Democrats significantly expanded their majority, flipping more than a dozen seats. Okay, more than a dozen seats. Okay, so please pay attention. And they're saying it was a poor night for Republicans. And I like how Trump told the media, that they have been nice to him recently. Yeah, because they don't want him filing any more lawsuits, I'm sure. Okay. Now, in the 2025 state and local elections, Democrats performed strongly in key races, and the coverage frames it as not a good night for Trump-aligned Republicans. Trump himself acknowledged that the results were not expected to be a victory for Republicans, okay, citing factors like the ongoing government shutdown and blaming the Democrats, okay, continuously. Now, in one article, they said, but the second, perhaps most existential issue is that Trump isn't focused on the issues that matter most to the voters. Okay, when a party underperforms in off year or local elections, it can be a warning sign ahead for bigger contests. Okay, midterms or national elections. Now, it signals weaknesses in the party's message, organization, voter engagement, or connection with voters' concerns. And as far as economic discontent and voter sentiment, well, voters are telling a different story than the official economic indicators. Many feel that they're worse off. The cost of living and housing, food, utilities, and all of that are top concerns. And Trump's not talking about those things for the most part. Now, the narrative, even if if macro indicators look okay, the public sentiment is the economy hasn't improved, okay, which is dangerous for the incumbent party. Now, in some races, exit polls show the economy was the dominant issue, and voters used their vote to express their dissatisfaction. Economic issues tend to be the most important driver of voter behavior. If the public believes things are going in the wrong direction, well, that gives the opposition some momentum and undermines the incumbent and his party, okay, and their ability to sell their agenda. Now, Trump argued after the election night that if you want to win elections, you got to talk about the facts. It's so easy to win when you talk about the facts. But commentary suggests that many voters feel the Republican message under Trump is out of sync with what they care about, okay, especially as it pertains to local issues, bread and butter concerns, moderates, and suburban voters. Winning elections often depends on not just policies, but on communication, resonance, and trust. If voters don't feel heard or feel the party is focused on the wrong priorities, okay, like building a ballroom and all of that, and giving money to a foreign entity rather than helping the people here at home on the home front, well, at least not having their priorities together, well, that makes them suffer. Okay, the whole brand suffers, and that's why they get the outcome that they got on yesterday. Okay, and so please pay attention. Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, Schumer says the GOP needs to negotiate. This is what he says. The government shutdown. He says elections, the only time for the Republicans to start negotiating. Now we're in the 36th day of the U.S. government shutdown. Okay, this means the two longest shutdowns in American politics have occurred under President Donald Trump. Okay, both under him. Okay, with the previous 35-day record being set during his first term in 2019. Republican and Democratic lawmakers remain at a stalemate on finding a government solution. Meanwhile, the shutdown impacts are mounting as SNAP fundings ran dry over the weekend and flights are delayed around the country amid air traffic controller shortages. Now, frustrations are boiling over as a confrontation unfolded between a rank and file Democrat and Speaker Mike Johnson on the steps of the House of Representatives. Pennsylvania Democrat Representative Chrissy Holohan began shouting at the speaker as he held his daily news conference, saying, "I'm asking you a question. If you're ready to have a conversation with the other side, you represent all of us. You're the speaker of all of us, sir." Okay, that's what Holohan said. You have an obligation not just to speak lies at the American people. You have obligations to call the leadership of both parties and bring us together and solve this problem together, Mr. Speaker. Okay, going in. Now, it's unclear whether Speaker Johnson immediately recognized Holohan as a rival across the aisle, attempting to move on from the disruption and field a question from a credentialed reporter saying, "I can't hear you because we have someone who doesn't respect the rights of others and their colleagues over there." That's what Johnson said before turning his attention to Houlihan. "I'd love to talk with you." Wait, "I'd love to talk with you. Come to my office," he said. Now, despite the invitation, Houlihan continued to challenge the speaker until an officer with the U.S. Capitol Police approached her. Okay, Houlihan then identified herself as a member of Congress, pulling a necklace from beneath her coat with her member pendant. After the interruption, Houlihan resumed her call for the speaker to bring an end to the shutdown. And after going back and forth, Johnson cut off the interruption for good, returning to his office after the news conference. Johnson called Houlihan's actions publicity stunt. Okay, these people are so ridiculous. Okay, he said a publicity stunt. People are out here starving, upset, bent out of shape, and clearly pressed. And he thinks this is a publicity stunt for this woman to be telling him he needs to go ahead, get it together, and end the shutdown. I want y'all to pay attention. It is absolutely, it just looks like it's going to keep getting worse. Okay? Now, with that all being said, did you all know that Omar and Lauren Boebert have been beefing? And also, she got some backlash, Lauren Boebert, also for her costume being racist. And I'm sure that's no surprise to anyone who knows her. Okay? Likes up, everyone, please like and share. I'm going to the footage.
Now to the escalating feud between two members of Congress. One is accused of being anti-Muslim. The other is being accused of being anti-Semitic.
Don't worry, there's plenty that will love the opportunity to take you off the face of earth.
Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, one of only 3 Muslims serving in Congress, says she received this threatening voicemail just hours after clashing with fellow Congresswoman Lauren Boebert of Colorado.
You're a traitor. You will not live much longer. I can almost guarantee you that.
Earlier this week, Boebert reached out to Omar after videos came to light showing Boebert bragging to her supporters about confronting Omar with an Islamophobic remark.
In that elevator, we were joined by Ilhan Omar. I looked over and I said, "Well, look at there, it's the Jihad Squad." Yeah.
Boebert told the same story earlier this month, suggesting the Minnesota Democrat could be a suicide bomber.
I said, "Well, she doesn't have a backpack. We should be fine."
Omar says the encounter in the elevator never happened. Boebert reached out to Omar Monday, seemingly to apologize. But Omar says the Colorado Republican only doubled down. saying in a statement, quote, instead of apologizing for her Islamophobic comments and fabricated lies, Representative Bobart refused to publicly acknowledge her hurtful and dangerous comments. Omar adding she hung up on Bobart.
I never want anything I say to offend someone's religion. So I told her that.
Bobart responded on social media.
She kept asking for a public apology. So I told Ilhan Omar that she should make a public apology to the American people for her anti-American, anti-Semitic, anti-police rhetoric.
Omar is now calling on Republicans to condemn Bobart's remarks, but so far, few have. At least one Democrat is demanding Bobart be stripped of her committee assignments. As for Omar, she took heat this year for comparing Israel and the U.S. to Hamas and the Taliban, but she says her comments were misunderstood, and she later apologized.
Okay, that lady is a mess. She is a whole mess. Now, Representative Lauren Boebert and her boyfriend, hold on, let me get this pop-up off of here. Okay, so Representative Lauren Boebert and her boyfriend, Kyle Piercy, a real estate broker from Windsor, Colorado, attended a Halloween party in Loveland, Colorado on Friday night in costumes portraying a Mexican woman and an immigration and customs enforcement agent. Do y'all hear this? That's what they wore for their costumes. These people are so childish. Like, are they in high school? The congresswoman was dressed in a traditional Mexican dress and wore a sombrero. Do you all hear this? How dumb are they? Like, it's so amazing to me that racist people do not realize how ignorant they are and how childish and stupid the things that they do are. This is so hilarious. Like, who does this? Okay, this is so ridiculous. But let me continue. Let me continue because they go on to say that she wore a Mexican dress. Let me see if I can find the picture. Okay, because do they have the picture? Oh, here it is. I'll show it to you in a second. But anyway, so they say a sombrero, really? Okay, while Percy wore an ice vest over fatigues, a chalkboard sign that appeared in other photographs from a separate public event the couple attended the same night, which are widely circulating online, was shown. It was slung on the back of a chair and is out of frame in the pictures, according to a party guest who spoke to ABC News. The text on the sign, which appears to be a joke mocking the pronunciation of UC, the words U and C, said Mexican words of the day. Juicy. Tell me if juicy ice coming. Do you all hear this? These people are crazy. First of all, you're doing too much. Okay, now you dressed up in the costumes, then you get a chalkboard, and then you write the words juicy, juicy. Tell me if juicy ice coming. These people are something else. I absolutely cannot. Okay, I absolutely cannot. Let me show you this picture of their costumes because these are some idiots. These people have too much time on their hands. Could you imagine Black people acting like this in real life? Maybe in a movie or a skit. But could you imagine us doing such childish, nonsensical, insidiously obtuse things? No, of course you could. Okay? Look at this. Mm, mm, mm. And the whole gag of it all is they're sitting there taking their shots off of a barrel. Okay? I am so done. I am absolutely done. These people are such idiots. Tell me if juicy ice coming. But anyway, Yeah, so that's what they did. Now, it goes on to say it is the most disgusting thing I have ever seen. Even the conservatives at the party were in shock. People avoided them. A person who attended the party gave these details. Okay, now in a statement to ABC News, Bober's office said, "It's a Halloween costume. Tell our senators to vote for the CR and open the government. They're choosing to let millions of American families suffer." Y'all hear that? I find it all so interesting. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, and speaking of the CR, they're supposed to be entertaining a new one. They say it's a new CR under discussion. Let's look at that real quick. This is from Politico. So they say Senate Republicans warn about potential interruptions in federal worker health care. Senator James Langford sent a letter to OPM expressing his concerns as the government shutdown continues. Okay, warning that the prolonged shutdown could soon threaten the healthcare coverage of federal employees. So, in the letter that was sent out October the 30th to Office of Personnel Management Director Scott Cooper, the Oklahoma representative or Republican, expressed concern that agencies are no longer contributing to trust funds that are managed by OPM and used to pay for government workers' health insurance. So, despite many efforts to reopen the government and pay federal workers, vital agencies remain closed. Employees' paychecks continue to be withheld, and now access to health care for every federal employee and their families could be threatened. This is what Langford wrote in the letter first obtained by Politico. They say the men and women who serve our nation should not face uncertainty about their paychecks or their health care coverage because of political obstruction in the Senate. Now, it's unclear how soon the lapse in agency contributions towards the fund could impair OPM's ability to pay for federal workers' health insurance. As part of the largest employers-sponsored health insurance program in the world, the Federal Employee Health Benefits Program, or FEHB, OPM is statutorily authorized to contact with private insurers and pay premiums on behalf of the federal workers, with the government generally funding around 75% of those premiums. Now, within the FEHB, OPM tracks the finances for each healthcare plan, and this is done separately and maintains contingency reserves for each plan, which are used to offset unexpected premium increases. But as the Senate heads to the 6th week of a government shutdown, Langford says these reserves and their potential depletion could become a more significant issue. Okay, a spokesperson for OPM did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Now, on Senate Republican side, granted anonymity to speak candidly, said Republicans could use this dynamic as a point of leverage against Democrats who have been insisting on an extension on expiring Obamacare subsidies as they hold out support for ending the shutdown. Now, while Democrats claim they are protecting health care, their decision to keep the government closed is threatening the very benefits they say they want to preserve. Now, the senator is sending a letter to OPM to better understand how maintaining coverage during a funding lapse would work and to offer support where it's needed. According to OPM, the combined balance of the FEHB and a similar program for certain retirees was around $25.4 billion at the end of fiscal year 2024. Now, in his letter to Kapoor, Langford asked when the funds financing each representative insurance plan would hit zero and when insurers would be notified of the lapse in funds. Langford also inquired if OPM knows of any legal options to continue paying employer-provided contributions for health care in the event the trust fund is emptied. Okay, so y'all heard this. It's going to get a whole lot worse. Head of Federal Workers Union talks shutdown strategy with top Dems. So the head of the largest federal employees union talked with top Democratic congressional leaders about his organization's calls for Democrats to shore up the votes to end the government shutdown. He said, I won't get into individual conversations, but they're very well aware of why I've taken the stance that I've taken. Okay, this is what AFGE President Everett Kelly said in an interview with Politico's Dasha Burns. He was responding to the question of whether he had spoken to House Majority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, or senior Hill Democrats about AFGE's statement last week asking Democrats to pass the GOP-led government funding patch. Now, the statement from the organization, which represents over 800,000 federal workers, made waves and sparked speculation about whether Democrats were nearing a point where they would have to cave under the weight of the mounting political pressure. Okay, so I'm going to go to this brief clip. And then we're going to talk about China, because China has come out and said, that they're going to be back in Nigeria, okay, after Trump's made those threats. Yeah. So further proof that he needs to sit down somewhere, okay, and mind his own business before he gets us into something he can't get us out of.
He marks up medicines. As a nonprofit,
Schumer or to Jeffries or any senior congressional Democrats about your most recent statement?
Yes. I won't get into individual conversations, but they're very well aware of why I've taken the stance that I've taken. Yes.
And what was their message to you?
In my opinion, I do believe that they understand why I have made the statement that I've made. They certainly know that my constituents are calling for me to stand against them being used as political pawns in this game.
I think there was a sense of surprise and even a little bit of a sense of betrayal, maybe from some Democrats on the Hill, because you have this reputation. This union has endorsed Democrats, endorsed Kamala Harris, has been seen as allies of the Democratic Party in a lot of these battles. And I wonder how you have been navigating that with leadership and with other Democrats who might have been surprised and felt hurt by your decision.
And I'm pretty sure that's probably an accurate statement. However, this is not the first time that we disagree, but we've always managed to deal with issues as they come. And hopefully, we are still friends and we're still allies.
Where do things stand right now? I mean, as you've been having these conversations, do you see an end coming soon? Are they hearing you, or do you think their Democrats are dug in and want to wait this out more?
Well, it's hard to get into the minds of other individuals. I do think that there is beginning to be some discussions about how we end this. I do believe that, yes.
All right. We'll see how it all turns out. Now, with that being said, let's talk about Nigeria. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, so here is the first report we're going to go to, what the Nigerians are saying, and then we're going to go to China, saying that they're going to have their back. Saying they're going to have their back. Okay? Let's see how tough Trump talks now.
Has been hit hard by insecurity in some parts of the country. Insurgents like Boko Haram and other criminals, including bandits, have killed Nigerians from all faiths. Many Nigerians have also lost their lives in clashes between largely Muslim herders and Christian farmers, fights that have more to do with land use and ownership than religion. There have also been some attacks on places of worship, including churches and mosques. But US President Donald Trump believes that Christians who are largely being targeted, and he's asked the US Department of War to prepare for military strikes for Nigeria if such killings do not stop.
They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that part of the world very bad. They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
Although Trump spoke of a record number of Christians being killed in Nigeria, he's not given any figures to back his claim. He is also not issued a breakdown of the religion of victims of violence in Nigeria, including Boko Haram attacks that have targeted people of all faiths for many years now. The latest warning from Washington have alarmed the Nigerian authorities. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu issued a statement denying Christians are being targeted for their faith and insisted the government is committed to protecting people of all faith and guaranteeing their freedom of worship. The threat of unilateral U.S. military intervention in the country has drawn mixed reactions from both the Christian clergy and worshippers.
It's not only the Christians they are killing. They are killing those who are not Christian too. But they are coming to assist. We should allow them, but we should not just depend on them alone, because it's only God that can really save us from this situation.
Nigerians must not also forget that we've also gone to other countries to tell their leaders to do right. So let's not be hypocrite in this matter. What some of us will not support is anybody deciding who should be our leader. It's purely a Nigerian thing. But if they are reminding us that what is accepted in our constitution, what is acceptable in other standards, we should do it. If we say they shouldn't, then we should also say that the Americans should have nothing to do with us. We can't receive their aid and say they shouldn't be worried about things that are going on among us.
All we want is, what do you do with the people that have been killing? Is our concern. Not denial. Nobody can deny. But most of the people that are being killed, up to today, we are still having the pains. But the issue of what do you do with the people that have killed those that are loved ones?
Nigerian President Bola Tinubu is expected to visit Washington this week in a trip that will now gain more significance as the two countries try to resolve their differences following Trump's warning. All eyes are now on Washington to see whether the diplomatic differences over this issue will get patched up in the coming days. Daniel Arap Moy.
All right, y'all heard that. Y'all heard that. I guess Trump thought it was all gravy when he was making those threats, but let's see what he has to say after China enters the chat. Likes up, everyone, please. A like and share. Here we go.
Let's now shift focus to growing tensions between the United States and Nigeria. This over Trump's military action threat and the Christian killings claim. Now, China has become a party in this row, as it emphasized its unwavering support for Nigeria's sovereignty. Beijing asserted itself as Abuja's comprehensive strategic partner and warned against any foreign interference in Nigeria under the guise of human rights or religion.
As a comprehensive strategic partner, China firmly supports the Nigerian government in leading its people on a development path in line with its national conditions. China opposes any country interfering in other countries' internal affairs under the pretext of religion or human rights and opposes the frequent use of sanctions and threats of force.
China's support for Nigeria is more than diplomatic solidarity. It has economic aspects to it, as Nigeria is a key partner in China's Key Belt and Road Initiative, or the BRI, which aims to connect Asia, Europe and Africa through a corridor resulting in heavy investment by Chinese companies in Nigeria's infrastructure, energy and mining projects. A report suggests Nigeria is one of the top African destinations for direct Chinese foreign investment in sectors like oil, natural gas and solid minerals, including lithium and gold. In May 2025, the Chinese ambassador in Abuja met with the Nigerian Minister of Solid Minerals Development. After the talks, he announced that mining cooperation between China and Nigeria has achieved remarkable progress. According to reports, Chinese firms have invested over $1.3 billion in Nigeria's lithium processing sector since September of 2023. These investments are aimed at diversifying Nigeria away from oil and developing green energy-related minerals. Now, what triggered this Chinese reaction was Trump's accusation against the Nigerian government of failing to protect Christians. He threatened to halt aid and launch military action against Nigeria. He ordered to map out a plan of attack after his administration put Nigeria into the countries of particular concern list over alleged religious freedom violations. Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has rejected these allegations. But this has not deterred the Trump administration. The White House has said that Trump is watching the situation in Nigeria very closely.
As the president stated, Michael, if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the United States will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may take action to wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities, especially against innocent women and children. I don't have any further announcements on that for you today, but I can assure you the President of the United States is watching this situation unfold very closely, as is our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio.
With Trump's threat to Nigeria and China's latest intervention, the tensions in the African continent have put two global powers in confrontation, while Nigeria finds itself at the center of a geopolitical tug of war.
Want the facts?
The latest developments?
News that gets straight.
Okay, so I told you all the real reason that Trump wants to go over to Nigeria. It doesn't have anything to do with those Christians that he's saying are over there dying. Okay, first of all, he's lying. Okay, that's not what the people are saying. They're saying it's Christians and Muslims. Okay, basically. But he's upset because, like I told you all days ago, he's upset because President Tinubu donated money to Kamala Harris's presidential campaign, and Trump is never going to get over it. Okay, he's never going to get over it. So I'm going to read a part of this article. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But here's a new report, okay, about it. So they say because Tinubu was among the people who contributed money to give to Kamala Harris for her campaign, and Trump has vengeance, he's never going to forgive that. Okay, so look, Trump wants to come to Nigeria. You know, it has nothing to do with Nigeria's Christians or Muslims, nor Northerners nor Southerners. Okay, it is why did Tinubu, through France, mobilize, including Macron, send money to Kamala Harris. They knew that if Trump became the American president, there was going to be a problem for the entire world. That was the reason they gave money to Kamala. Okay, they said it was going to be a problem for the whole world if Trump became president. So they also identified America's interest in Nigeria's oil and energy resources as another underlying reason, stemming from its sour relationship with oil-producing countries in the Arab world. I told y'all that too. Okay, now the second reason is that the American stronghold in the Middle East is slipping away from their fingers. Okay, they needed another stronghold of emergency or energy resources, specifically oil. The Arab kingdoms are facing the greatest challenges of their life. Now, there are inside storms brewing politically because there are common men and they're tired, and it's only America that's holding them down. So they say Nigeria is a very hot spot for them. Nigeria, Angola, and Algeria are some of the areas that they're looking at. Okay, they say energy experts are saying that the oil reserve in Nigeria is far more than in the Arab countries, and America knows that more than anybody else. So that's why Trump has his eye on Nigeria. Okay, he didn't give a damn about those Christians. He didn't care what's going on over there or who's being killed. He wants the resources. Now, he attributed the third reason to Mr. Tinubu's reserved relationship with the Western world, noting that the Nigerian president maintains only what he considered the most cordial relationship with France and its president, Emmanuel Macron. Now, the third reason, which is very fundamental, is that for the first time in such a long time, since Abaka, Tinubu was the first president in this country to take away or to look away from the Western world. In fact, France is the only friend Tinubu has. Is France really their friend? I wouldn't think so. Don't fall for that. Nigeria is not dependent on France. It is France and Macron that are dependent on Tinubu and Nigerians now. Okay, and that's what the international relations experts say. Okay, so y'all heard it. At the end of the day, we knew Trump had ulterior motives. We knew he didn't give a damn about those people. When has he ever? Okay, when has he ever? Now, with that all been said, let's go to what some of the people are saying about their SNAP benefits and Trump and his minions. Oh, and also, did you all hear? One's in the chat. Did you all hear about the nurse? The nurse that was making fun of people that get SNAP benefits, and I heard she got fired. Did you all hear anything about that? Let's talk about it. Yeah, because this nurse was making fun, being very nasty. Hold on, let me pull it up. Like some, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go. Hold on, that's not the one I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance.
That is the title of this open letter to that thing that came on this platform, having the audacity to be wearing a scrub top and a scrub cap and identifying as a nurse while mocking the people who are about to lose their SNAP benefits. Get out and take every nurse who shares your hateful, bigoted views with you. Okay, you are not one of us and we do not claim you. You don't get to come on this platform and tarnish this noble profession with your hatred. Okay, you are a stain to this profession. And I implore every nurse out there who knows that what I'm saying is true to stand up and speak out so we can weed them out. Listen, you can teach a nurse how to place an IV, how to interpret EKGs, or take care of a neonate, or titrate drips, but you cannot teach someone with an empty, dark soul empathy or compassion. Those are not skill sets that a nurse needs. They are requirements, basic requirements. We are taught on day one of nursing school that your religious or political views or your personal problems have no business at your job. They are to be left at the door of whatever hospital or doctor's office or clinic or nursing home or wherever it is that you work. All of that gets left at the door. And you go in there and you take care of your patients regardless of their race or sexual orientation or, religious views or, socioeconomic status. None of that is any of your business. My patient population are inmates. People who are accused of or standing trial for or have been found guilty of some pretty horrific things, but they are still my patients and I am still their nurse and I am still obligated to deliver empathetic and compassionate and competent care. So you need to get out of this profession. You don't get to ruin it for the millions of us who are dedicated to giving the kind of care that every human being in this country deserves.
Okay, so they're going in on her. I mean, it's the nerve of her for me. Now, this one is going to show part of her video.
This because people need to see what's happening in real time when a nurse publicly mocks people receiving SNAP benefits as if poverty is a personal failure. So this nurse, who identifies as Tina Coleman, an RN at Crenshaw Community Hospital in Laverne, Alabama, thought it was appropriate to belittle people who rely on public assistance, many of whom are the same patients we care for every day. So I'm going to let you see the clip.
My baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on my way to my second job tonight, because it is my responsibility to make sure that he eats, not the U.S. taxpayers. I am responsible for keeping him fed and clothed.
So this is the ugly side of nursing culture we don't talk about enough. The performative, I work 2 jobs pride that disguises contempt for the poor. Nursing isn't about judging who's worthy of help. It's about care, equity, and humanity. And we've seen too many stories of bullying, discrimination, and classism in this field. It is time for accountability. The profession needs to study it, name it, and root it out. Because when you humiliate the vulnerable, you do not represent nursing. You absolutely disgrace it. I'm stitching this because people need to see what's happening in real time when
So she thought that was all fun and games until they found out who she was and reported her, and she got fired. Okay. And at the end of the day, where do you see what else she did? Because that's probably why she really got fired. Like stuff, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share.
Give an update to this crazy lady.
My baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on my way to my second job tonight, because it is my responsibility to make sure that he eats, not the U.S. taxpayers. I am responsible for keeping him fed and clothed.
Now, many of you have identified her as a Tina out of Alabama, and that's all I'm going to go with because I can't confirm that in the way that I like to confirm things, but you do with that information however you like. But it actually gets worse. Someone was able to grab this video before she put her account on private.
On today's episode of Black and Jobless.
There you have it. She was exactly who we thought she was. Want to give an update?
What saw that? On today's episode of Black and Jobless, had her dog laying there watching TV and just relaxing. I guess that's what she thinks all Black people do, and that's why they need SNAP. A darn shame. But hold on. Let me show you what else they're doing, because remember I told you all about the racist AI videos that are meant to make Black people look bad and disparage you? Well, they're still making them bunch of racist people out here trying to make us the face of SNAP benefits, even though I showed you all the stats the other day where they're the ones that get more SNAP than anybody, okay, and commit more fraud.
Oh, look at this.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I get over $2,500 a month in stamps. I sell them $2,000 worth for about $1,200 to $1,500 cash. That's why everybody's upset. Folks say we're taking advantage, but that's how we get by, and that's the frustration we're hearing out here in downtown Atlanta.
This photo in a video clip you just saw, fake, AI generated. Futurism.com has just released an article where they expose how videos like these, created by racists using tools like OpenAI, Sora, and others, are just spreading like wildfire online, showing Black Americans as the face of what is going on with SNAP benefits. This video here is a prime example. This is the Black welfare queen stereotype. And these videos look hyper real. All of this is fake. Notice this creation says she gets over $2,500 a month in food stamps, and she trades it in for $1,200 to $2,000 because that's how we, meaning Black Americans, get by. They can't even get their lives straight because in 2004, under the Bush administration, paper food stamps were phased out. And by 2008, every state of the union was using what is now called EBT cards. EBT stands for Electronic Benefits Transfer. It is a debit card similar to what we get from banks that you receive, and you must create a unique PIN number, and that card is what is used for your SNAP benefits. But see, again, these lies prop up the racist worldview of white America. And the Futurism article also notes that there are some people who know that these videos are fake. Some people are producing these videos and not even bothering to remove the watermarks, but they're spreading them anyway because they feel it still illustrates and supports their racism. Anti-Black racism, not just racism, y'all, anti-Black racism is the reason why this nation, as it's always been and as we now know it, in my opinion, will always be bullshit. Anti-Black racism is the reason we do not have universal health care in this country, why college tuition is not free for all.
This is all very true. Everything he's saying is no lies detected. The reason we don't have free health care in this country is because they want Black people to have to be sick. They don't want Black people to have to be able, to be able to have adequate health care. Now, you may think, oh, she's making everything about race. No, this is the truth. Do the research. The reason when they give people who are disabled or senior citizens, they give people Medicare. Medicare only pays for 80% of your healthcare treatments. And then you have to cover the other 20%. Well, the reason for that is because when this all was put into place, the people who don't look like me that were in charge, they decided that they would make people pay the 20%. Because then they would be assured that Black people wouldn't be going to the doctor so much. You see, if you could go to the doctor for free, you'd likely go every time there was something wrong or you thought there was something wrong. Many people don't go because they can't afford it. They don't want to get in debt. Okay. And then after a while, some people don't go because they feel like there's something wrong because they haven't been in so long and maybe the condition has worsened and they don't want to hear the bad news. But at the end of the day, that's why we don't have free college tuition. That's why we don't have free healthcare in the United States, because they did not want it to benefit Black people. Okay. And I find it interesting when you have people who come here, like the person that I had on my platform weeks ago, talking about there's no such thing as white privilege. Of course there is. When you get to decide how things are going to be divvied out, when you get to create the laws and decide who's going to get to be disparaged, and you all work together in concert in unison to have it do exactly as you've planned for it to be, that is privilege. Okay, that is privilege. That's right. Lillian X said health is wealth. Exactly. Okay, so he's telling no lies.
In this country, white Americans will burn their own house down and sit in the middle of it, watching it burn if they feel that it can harm Black Americans.
And I've also told you all this too, a myriad of times. I have told you that racist people will absolutely cut off their nose to spite their face. Okay? If it means inconveniencing themselves, that's okay. As long as they know they can do damage to Black folk. Okay? And this right here, the fact that we don't have universal health care in this country, the fact that we don't have free college education, that should let you all further know that we're never going to get reparations. Okay. Anytime you can see that they're basically allowing themselves to have to suffer in some cases just so they can spite us, you should know they're never going to give you reparations. A country where they don't want you to even be able to afford adequate health care, where they don't want you to be educated. It's the same thing since slavery. You weren't allowed to read. Okay, but now you can read, but they make it as difficult as possible for you to be able to afford, a higher level of education.
But we know the truth, that white Americans are the main beneficiaries of public assistance, including SNAP benefits. No amount of lies can override the truth. But again, Black Americans, we knew that they were going to try and make us the face of this entire situation, to make us the face of poverty and victimhood. And we also know that that is not the truth. Please boost the signal on this so that everybody will know.
No lies detected, like I said, and they do want to make us the face of it. They absolutely do. But here's the thing. Look who's all standing in this pantry or this bread line. Everybody's doing bad, not just Black people. Okay?
Y'all, come look at this. This is a food bank somewhere in white folk Nebraska. And what y'all notice? First of all, that line longer than a motherfucker, boy. And there ain't nine nigga in that line. They don't show this shit on the news right here. Look at all them goddamn hungry white folk. I wonder which way they voted. They probably didn't want to wear their MAGA hats. It ain't time to rally for Trump. Right now it's time to rally up something to eat. Who y'all think they blame for this? Boy, I bet you some hell of a goddamn information going on in those lines. Out of all those white folk out there, how many of them do y'all think use wash rags? But for real, this just shows that we all hurting, man. All that narrative about single mama, Tyrone this, Tyrone that. when there's so many people that use SNAP benefits from different walks of life that really need that help, man. And that's the part we're not really showing. And this right here show you. Look at them. Look at all those white folk. I don't know where it's at. Probably somewhere in Wisconsin. Hey, y'all. Come.
Okay, he's hilarious. All right. He is hilarious. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Hold on. I think I deleted the wrong video. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, here we go.
SNAP program costs taxpayers $640 a year. The SNAP program, which was designed to help young people, young mothers, feed their children, is there to feed the children that the Republicans demanded be born because they wanted to protect the rights of the children. Now that the woman has given birth and the child is now on its own, so to speak, they don't care about making sure that child is fed. The SNAP program isn't something that you should use to shame people. It's not something that you should use to make people feel bad about their lives. The SNAP program is designed to help people when they are in need. Just like those people that are in need now, once they rise up and do what they need to do, they'll be paying their taxes, and their tax dollars will go to help the next person that needs the SNAP program. To belittle individuals because they need SNAP or because they need help is deplorable. Using the SNAP program as leverage to force the Democrats to Republicans to take away the health care from millions of people, criminal. The SNAP program.
He's absolutely right. No lies detected.
Hi, everyone. I have more thoughts. So, two courts told our administration to release the SNAP benefits to courts. Rumors are circulating, and they're just rumors. I have no facts that the money is gone. The money that was earmarked for the benefits. Wonder where it could have gone. $40 billion to Argentina. A $350 million ballroom. Oh no, not spent on that. He's gonna stiff those workers. That's his MO. I don't.
Y'all to pay attention. She said Trump's going to stiff those workers. Now, I wouldn't put it past him. He's done it before. He has a history of doing that. He's had rallies at certain venues and not even paid the people. And let's not forget the toy maker who said that he's lost $14 million thanks to Trump and his nefarious tariffs. And then there was the other person who said that they lost their job. Okay, the man went and took his own self out of here because Trump didn't pay him the $3.5 million that he owed him for services rendered. They only gave him $1.12 million, leaving him $2 million in the rears. He took what he had, paid his employees, and then took himself up out of here. Okay, so when she's saying, where's that money? Yeah, I have questions. Where is that money? And then she said those people that are building that ballroom, Trump's probably going to stiff them, not even going to pay them. I wouldn't be surprised. Probably put the money in his own pocket. Please pay attention.
No, maybe it's on the 2 jets that were bought. The ICE agents, yeah. Because isn't everybody getting like a big bonus? Golfing for almost every single weekend. Oh, and then I heard his cabinet members were taking airplane rides to sporting events.
Okay, she's talking too softly and too slowly. But basically, I agree with everything she was saying. She's talking about how his cabinet was taking him airplane rides to sporting events. Okay, we know that Kash Patel took one to go visit his girlfriend, the country singer, when she was performing. Okay, they're out here having great Gatsby Halloween parties and living lavish while people are out here starving. Okay, and then trying to blame all this BS on the Democrats. But here's the thing: let us not forget. Let us not forget that Trump said himself that they wanted to cut some of these programs that the Dems started, that was the main thing they wanted to do, and now they have the opportunity. So yes, he wants to cut the SNAP program. He's already had that in mind. Okay, so that's why people are not getting their benefits. That's the gist of it at the end of the day. And then also, like everybody's been saying, using it for leverage. But let's go to this last video because, and here's another thing. Let's not also forget how they sent out emails to these grocery stores and told them that they could not, in fact, give discounts to people that receive SNAP benefits. I told you all that days ago. Okay, but did you all also know that they disabled the machines so they wouldn't work? Even if you had anything on your EBT card, you wouldn't be able to use it. Yeah, that's what they did.
This. Now reports are coming out saying that people who do have SNAP benefits on their card are unable to use their card because the machines have been disabled. Listen to this.
They've done something even more insidious. They've decided to shut down the SNAP machines so that they can't be used. So even if we were to put money into SNAP accounts, they couldn't be accessed by someone who has a SNAP card. So just wanted to point that out. That is what they won't even allow you basically to do what some people have suggested. So we're using whatever methods we have to feed people, and that's to support pantries, to support organizations out there that are providing meals for people.
Is this true? Do you have SNAP benefits, and have you tried to use your card with the money that you have remaining and were unable to use your card because the machine was disabled? I would love to know if that's what's happening right now. I'm also hearing about Walmart complaining because the people who normally get their SNAP benefits go buy food at Walmart, and now they're losing money because they don't have the customers. Let's see how long this SNAP benefit situation continues when the rich start to complain about it. Let me know your thoughts. How do you defend this?
Okay. All right, so there you have it. There you have it. See, I know the Republicans thought they had an ironclad plan, but it's not so ironclad. Okay, it's not so ironclad after all, is it? We're gonna see how this all pans out. They are hurting the American public, but they're hurting themselves in the process. But like I said, these devils will cut off their noses to spite their faces. So we'll see how it all pans out. I'm just hoping that the courts do something about Trump's outright defiance. But what can they really do? What can they really do? Because he has immunity for things that he does while in office. Okay. So anyway, the Democrats are supposedly contemplating going ahead and agreeing, with the CR or whatever. But I'm hoping they don't, because I don't think that's going to do anything. I don't think it's going to help at all. That's just my opinion. So with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And also, if you have not been receiving your notifications, please do yourself a favor and double check to make sure you're still subscribed, because they do unsubscribe people on a regular basis. Okay, so until next time, beloveds, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this night. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives.
Soul all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got